Hello, welcome to the TechHub.training Power BI Peak Cycles Data Visualizations Challenge solution. In this challenge, we're learning how to make some data visualizations, a couple that are very basic and a couple that are more advanced. So let's go ahead and dive into the challenge. So the data we're going to begin with is the data from the Creating Columns Completed challenge. So the next thing we're going to do is build some visualizations. So the first visualization we want is a card. We're going to go over into this visualizations area, click on card, and then it says select or drag fields to populate this visual. We're going to go over and expand invoice export and select invoice profit, and that'll show us the invoice profit. But we don't necessarily want it to say sum of invoice profit. So we're going to go over into this visualizations pane and click format your visual, and we'll turn the label off, which will get rid of that, and then in general toggle title on, and then we can rename our visualization, and in this case let's name it total profit, and we're going to change the font size to 20 so it's more noticeable up there in the corner. Alright, easy peasy. That's our first visualization, so we can click off of that. And the next visualization we're going to build is a bar chart. So we're going to go over and click on the stacked column chart visualization, and we're going to, in this invoice export table still, we're going to click invoice profit and sale date. As you can see, this got really messy really fast. We've got every day of every month of every quarter for the whole year. And so in order to clean it up a little bit, we're going to clear out year and we're going to clear out day. And we're left with quarter and month, which will be compatible with one of our other visuals later. So we're going to leave both of those. The last thing we're going to do here is go into format visual. In general, we're going to retitle this and we're going to call it total profit by quarter and month. Alright, once we have that, we're going to go ahead and click off of it, and the next visualization we're going to build is a heat map. And we're going to use this heat map and the customer's area codes to determine where our customer base is. So we're going to go ahead and click on this map icon here, and then if we break out the customer info table, we can select area code and we're going to pull that into location. And now, as you can see, it populates with the area codes. But what we want is a heat map. So if we go to format visual, we can click on heat map right there. And it'll show us where our customers are in the form of a heat map. And we're going to go ahead and format this one as well. So if we bust out this heat map section, we can change the color scheme to make it stand out better. Because once you zoom in, it's this blue color, which isn't bad, but it kind of blends in with the water a little bit, or at least doesn't look very different. So we're going to go ahead and change this, and we're going to go that for 100%, there for 50%, and here for the 0%. And now when we zoom in, you can see it's definitely more noticeable than it was. But as you can see, it's kind of hard to control how it zooms. So if we go ahead and open these map settings, we can, and bust out controls, we can turn the zoom buttons on and the auto zoom off, which I like to do. Now if we navigate over, it's really easy to zoom in and out as much as we want. And we've got this nice heat map showing us where our customer base is located. The last thing we're going to do here is rename it. So if we go into general, title again, instead of calling it area code, we're going to go ahead and name this one customer location. Alrighty, the last thing we're going to do is build a waterfall chart. We're going to start by selecting this waterfall chart icon out of the visualizations pane, and I'm going to drag this down here so it's a little more in the open there. And the next thing we're going to do is in this invoice export table, we're going to take sale date and put it in the category field. And once again, we'll clear out the year and the day so it just says quarter and month. Next thing we're going to do is drag this quantity into breakdown and invoice profit into the y-axis. And as you can see, it gives us this waterfall chart. And it looks kind of foreign right now to someone who may not have seen a waterfall chart before, but it's a lot of useful information. So the first thing we're going to do is clean it up so we can start trying to interpret what it even means. The first thing we're going to do for that, go into Format Your Visual again. We're going to turn the legend off. So we're just left with that. It looks a little cleaner, and we'll put some labels on the data in just a second. Next thing we're going to do is expand the columns section. I'm going to change these colors so they look a little nicer. And I think what I'm going to do is just take it to a blue for increase. We'll leave it at a red for decrease. Other doesn't matter. And then the totals we're going to make gray. So that looks a little clearer in my opinion. And we can very clearly see the increases, the decreases, and the quarterly amounts. Jumping out of this column section, we're going to go into data labels, turn them on, and we're going to want the orientation to be horizontal, as it is here, and put the position outside end. And what this does is it puts the data labels outside the corresponding bar, and you'll notice if it's an increase, it puts it above, and if it's a decrease, it'll put it below. Alright, the last thing we're going to do is rename this. But what should we rename it? Let's think about what we're even looking at in the first place. So what we have here is, in this waterfall chart, we have the quarter, the profit by quarter. And as you can see, the cool thing is if I click on this, the other charts will react. So in quarter 2, have 550,000 in profit, which we can see here, and we can see that these are the 3 months, and if we sum those together, we would get to this $550,000 value. And so what this waterfall chart does is it describes the difference from quarter to quarter, and it shows it by the number of bikes, the quantity of bikes sold in one order. And this can be helpful in determining seasonal trends. For example, moving from quarter 1 to quarter 2, there's a $57,000 increase in revenue due to this, there's a $57,000 increase in profit for bikes, for invoices. There's a $57,000 increase in profit for invoices that have 3 bikes on them. But moving from quarter 3 to quarter 4, there's a $69,000 decrease for orders of the same size this time of year. And so this can be helpful in helping us determine marketing strategies or other incentives to help maybe smooth our earnings out or take advantages of the times when they are booming. Another cool thing that we can do with this waterfall chart is this drill down feature. And so click on drill down. We can drill into one of these quarters and see exactly what's going on. So let's jump into quarter 3. And as we can see, now instead of quarter to quarter, we have month to month, July, August, September. We've got this huge jump here. So let's see. So the quantity of 4. So the invoices that have 4 bikes on them have a huge jump going from July to August. But if we look over here, those same ones have a dip, and it's only about half as much as the jump. But it is interesting to note that within this quarter, there's such a huge range, and we can drill back out to see the overall again. Whereas overall with the 4 quantity of bikes, there's hardly any difference in going from quarter 2 to quarter 3 or quarter 3 to quarter 4. But within quarter 3, we can see there are large differences. And that's the power of drill down. And as we mentioned earlier, these charts change as well. Last thing we're going to do, again, is rename this visual. So if we jump into General, Title, we're going to call this Change in Profits by Order Size. I hope you were able to gain some knowledge that could help you kickstart your journey into Power BI and creating some strong visualizations. As always, please post your challenge solutions on the TechHub website, and we'll see you next time.